Great. So Hare Krishna, I forgot to record the first half of today's class, but we have been basically just discussing this beautiful story of Krishna's Kaliya Mardanam. That is how he doesn't kill Kaliya actually, he just subdues Kaliya's pride. Kaliya is very proud and very haughty, and how Krishna subdues his pride. So we had just reached the part where Krishna, you can see in this beautiful picture how Krishna is dancing on the hoods of Kaliya. And as soon as one hood got tired and Kaliya lowered it, Krishna would jump on another and then he would continue dancing. Okay, and there was the accompaniments in the sky. In the sky, all the Gandharvas and all, they were playing lovely musical instruments and they were all cheering Krishna, and joyfully they were singing and dancing, and the same rhythm. Krishna was also dancing on the 100 hoods of Kaliya. The Cobra King then became fully tired and all his pride was subdued. And he now realized who Krishna was. That's why we say that, even if we chant Krishna's name, similarly, Krishna will dance on our tongues and Krishna will subdue all our pride. How much we keep chanting Krishna and we keep him on our tongue all the time, Krishna will help us also subdue our pride.
Ma'am?
And not speak. Yes, Ritika, have you joined? Ritika, Anushka, yes, Anushka.
Ma'am, Ritika is in the meeting room. So
yes. Okay.
Just let her in.
Yeah. I can't see her. Let me just check. Okay. Good that you have informed me. Did she put it in the WhatsApp?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Yeah. Great. Yeah, good you joined, Ritika. I was wondering what happened. So, I think before I put that everyone is allowed, maybe you have already there. So, we were discussing, Ritika, how Krishna was dancing on one by one all the hoods and Kaliya was getting so tired and so exhausted. And similarly, if we chant Krishna and allow him to dance on our tongues, our pride also will be subdued by Krishna. He will actually, Krishna, what Krishna does when you keep chanting, he will clean your mind. Krishna has no, shame that I'm doing some menial job. He will come, he'll take the broom and mop and he'll clean up your whole mind and make it clean, pure. Similarly, he will jump on your tongue and he will remove all your pride and he will make you so pure and pure-hearted. That is why you have to keep on having Krishna in your mind and on your lips and on your tongue and think of him on your thoughts. He will come and clean you and make you so pure. So the Cobra King was tired because of Krishna dancing on him, and his pride was completely subdued, and he realized that Krishna was none other than the Lord himself. In this picture, we can see there are two pictures where you can see that all the wives of this Kaliya come and pray and request him, please don't kill him. Okay, that's what is happening in these two beautiful pictures which I found on the net. I like both, so I didn't know which one to choose. Now read this one from here. Ritika, you were reading, right?
Yes. His many wives now appeared on the surface carrying unique gems and other gifts for Krishna. They prayed to him. We admit that Kaliya was cruel and haughty. He has killed countless creatures for no fault of theirs. Yet he stands defeated now, O Lord, and seeks your forgiveness. Please spare his life and bless him and also us. Listening to all these prayers, Krishna blessed the Cobra family. Then he told the Cobra King, leave Kalindi along with your family. Go back to Ramanaka Island from where you came. Do not be scared of Garuda anymore. As your hoods bear my footmarks, Garuda will not harm you.
Right. Okay, so I'll read the rest of this because you're taking a lot of time. Let me just explain it quickly. So here, thank you, Ritika, and thank you all for reading. I hope you're enjoying the beautiful story. These stories, if you're able to picturize in your mind and keep thinking of it, they have a lot of power to make you very pure. So Kaliya and his wives, when Krishna agrees and doesn't kill Kaliya, they say, go back to where you came from the island, Ramanaka Island, or what is that island? They go back to that island. The island is Ramanaka Island. And there he says that Garuda will not harm you because on your hoods, my footprints are there. Garuda will not touch you now. And Kaliya and his wife, they thanked Krishna so much and they left immediately. And Krishna, he swam back. Very powerful Krishna is. And the young and old, the cows, calves, everyone was so happy to see Krishna is back. They ran. The cows, they ran, they smelled him, they licked him. You can imagine all the elder people, they're shedding tears of joy and turn by turn, they're hugging Krishna. Okay, nothing happened to you. And by the time the celebrations were over, it had become night. The whole day, this dance and these things were happening. It was decided that all will spend the night there only beside the river Yamuna or Kalindi. And then they went back in the morning. They selected a meadow not far away where there was soft green grass, and there they slept. And when they were in deep sleep, the next story is already started here. A fire had broken out in the forest. Everybody woke up from their house, and the noise of crashing trees and so much of fire, the Gopa families, they became panic stricken. Krishna told them, don't be scared. And he actually opened his mouth wide. He ran around the meadow and he consumed the fire. That's what he exactly did. The flames disappeared without a trace. And how such a thing could happen? No one knows, but that's what happened. And the answer is simply that nothing is there that God cannot do. His power is beyond what human minds can visualize. So, children, all I can tell you today as we finish two stories in this chapter, Kaliya Mardanam as well as the consuming of the fires by Krishna, two stories we have read today. And I really hope that you are, by the end, in another 4-5 classes, we'll finish Gita. And then I will only be doing, those who want to participate in the finishing program of this Gita class of this 2022 year. If you want, I can prepare your lines and give you some verses to recite, and we can have a nice video compiled, of all of you. Let me ask the others. I'll put it in the group who all want to participate. Accordingly, I'll prepare a small script, and just another 4-5 classes, we'll finish the Bhagavad Gita. I would want you to continue this. Don't think that this Gita study is over. Gita study never gets over, till your last breath. As you're growing big, you all become young ladies, you all are into your careers, into your married life, and then you grow old, you have your children, grandchildren, everything. But the Gita should be a part of your life, because it's difficult to live. We hear all these things, we forget, we don't even. Now if I ask you what is in chapter 4, what is in chapter 7, you won't even remember. And even I am still, it's the clarity of what all Krishna has taught is not easy to remember, and to put it into your life is even more difficult. And so what I will advise all of you is that make it like a lifelong, thing where you're holding on to the Bhagavad Gita. Slowly, as if you really go in deep into it, you'll be attracted to the Bhagavatam, and then you'll be attracted to know about different famous people who have given their lives to Lord Krishna and to spread the word of Krishna, like Prabhupada and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and all. And you will become closer, and you have to try to have association of devotees. And I want you to continue this, okay? Keep this as a part of your life, even though by December, we'll finish off the Gita classes for this 2022 session. So let's quickly do chapter 15. We have 15 minutes, 15 to 20 minutes. And let me explain chapter 15 to all of you. Today we hadn't done the prayer. Om Ajnana Timranjana Jnananjana Shalakya Chakshurunmeelitam Yen Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namane Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Prachare Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyati Deshatarane Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shadvaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. So as you learn the Gita more and more, you will understand and you will not feel shy to chant. It's not as something to be shy about. When you chant and you pray, you can, slowly you will stop becoming shy that what will people say if I'm going to chant, or, you won't feel. And now more and more, you can see how the UK Prime Minister is now a person who believes in, who follows ISKCON. And you can see how it's not that they become sannyasis. Modi is a big devotee. Rishi Sunak is a big devotee, and how they reach the top positions in the world because they want to serve selflessly. Through the Gita, you're able to serve, give to the world with no selfish intention. You become selfless, and you can reach any heights in life with that intention. You can get all prosperity and success. Okay, so we were doing chapter 14 last time, and the last verse was that one who engages in full devotional service in all circumstances, good times, bad times, whatever, they will immediately go above the three modes of material nature, all three. Not only the tamogun and rajogun, but also sattvagun. All three, they will go rising up and they will reach to the level of a Brahman. Brahman is the soul which is constantly attached to the God. And we can serve this Krishna. You need not serve Krishna only in Krishna Rupam. Although that's the most beautiful and most endearing form of the Lord. You can pray to Krishna in the form of Rama, Buddha, Narsimha, because they are all equipotent. Okay. And so in chapter 14, I'll just quickly summarize what we did. First, we understood the three modes of material nature more clearly. And remember, I've always told you, the last few chapters, you will get a clear picture of this material world, this nature. It's made up of only three modes: Sattvagun, Rajogun, and Tamogun. And we looked at the definition, we looked at what time these people of Sattvagun get up, what time they sleep, how they do, what are the kind of actions they do. If you're in the mode of goodness, you have a clear thinking. If you're in the mode of passion, you're very anxious. If you're in the mode of ignorance, you're deluded. Then we learned about at death what happens. A person who is dying in goodness, he goes to higher heavenly planets and he enjoys, the benefits of being good. If he is in a mode of passion, he has to again keep on running after fruitive activities, whatever desires he runs after that. If he is in ignorance, he will go to hellish planets. And then we learn how you can go above all these three. When Arjuna asks a beautiful question, someone who is not involved in these three modes, how is his behavior? What are the symptoms? And Krishna explains that he will be equipoised, he will be not disturbed by anything. And he will not have a sense of proprietorship. This is mine, this is mine. He knows everything belongs to Krishna. So all these qualities he is described. Now let's move to chapter 15. We have only 10 minutes left. And in chapter 15, we are learning about the yoga of the Supreme Person of Purushottam Yoga. It's considered a very important chapter actually. Chapter 15 is considered to be a really important chapter. Okay, so I want you to concentrate because I'll try to go through it quickly. And in this chapter, there are three main things. You will just get a peek into what is the spiritual world. Krishna keeps on saying that we are, trapped in this material world. In this world, there is only a lot of dukkhas, and birth, death, disease, old age, all this is dukkha. And he wants us to free ourselves and not keep on taking birth. He tells us that we are the soul. We are going to keep taking birth here. And how will we free ourselves from this Maya? Maya means this Durga Devi is only Maya. Okay. Maya is actually Durga Devi who's protecting this material world. Material world is like a jail. In this jail, we are all jailers. We may not accept that the person in the jail may say, I'm not in jail. I'm happy. I'm getting my food and everything. He doesn't feel he's in jail. Some people, they are rich, they're happy, they have everything to eat, they're enjoying good music. Life to bahut mast hai, kya jail, I'm happy. But they don't know that they are actually in the jail of this material body, and they are not realizing that we are soul. Only those who understand Gita very deeply from a good, true master, they can understand all that. And then they will learn how in this chapter, Krishna says how you can set yourself free from this Maya. And Krishna will explain how he is actually maintaining all of us. So these things are explained in these chapters. And first we begin by looking at the reflection of how the spiritual world. So like I told you, Krishna tells us what is the spiritual world. The spiritual world is where, you have this real, it's a very beautiful world Krishna will describe. And where we are is actually an inverted tree, which is just a reflection. And why is this reflection happening? It's because of desire. Okay, 1 minute. Okay, I'll just come. I'll just come. Just give me a minute. Just try to look at this tree in the meantime and try to tell me what you understand. I'm coming in a minute. Okay, so sorry about taking the time. Do you see anything here? What do you notice? Anyone would like to share?
Yes,
What do you
ma'am.
notice in this tree?
Ma'am, liberation.
Liberation. Misha has seen liberation. Wonderful, Misha. Very good observation. You can see that when you come up to the, to the tree, the top of the tree, which is actually, the roots are down and the
Ma'am, economic development.
you can see economic development, religiosity, sense gratification. What else? Ritika and Anushka, you can see anything?
Emphasis acts. Emphasis acts.
Pious acts, impious acts. Pious acts means good deeds. Impious acts means bad deeds. Pious acts karoge, so you will reach up towards the spiritual world.
Sense objects. Sense objects.
Sense objects will keep on attracting us and keep us in this material world only, which is just like an inverted tree. It's actually a very tough concept to understand. This part of these chapters are not easy to understand. Anything, Ritika and Anushka, you want to share something about this tree?
Ma'am, Vedic means
Religiosity, sense gratification, economic development, Vedic hymns. Yeah. Vedic hymns, those who follow the Vedas, those who do pious acts, they also gradually reach towards liberation. All right. So there are a lot of things here. You can see all the demigods. Demigods means you can see Lord Saraswati, Brahma, Surya Dev on top there. So, and you can see Durga Devi. She is the Maya Devi, the Durg. She protects this whole region. And she's the one who is, Lord has given charge to her to, see that all these souls are maintained. And you can see the demigods are also actually part of the material world. They are not part of the spiritual world. They are also different positions. The only thing is that they are at a higher level. That's the only difference. So this is what this tree is very difficult to and needs lot of contemplation. Now we're just looking at it broadly, children. Let's see what is the next verse. I don't know if I'll be able to finish this chapter. Yeah. At least let's finish first 5 verses. Okay. In first 5 verses, children, Krishna is telling us that this material world is like a reflection of the spiritual world. The real tree is actually in the spiritual world, very beautiful. We cannot even imagine with our senses at all. And the spiritual world is just a reflection of the material world is just a reflection. It's not even real. It's just a reflection of this beautiful spiritual world. And Krishna says, how can we escape or understand that this material world is just a reflection, and how can we go higher by our pious acts and by keeping ourselves in connection with Krishna, and how when we die we can have our soul go to the spiritual world rather than just enjoying the sense objects in this material world and getting trapped in this reflection of the tree. Okay, next, so let's begin with the first verse. Krishna is saying, Shri Bhagavan Uvacha, ऊर्ध्वमूलमधः शाखम् अश्वत्थं प्राहुरव्ययं छन्दांसि यस्य पर्णानि यस्तं वेद स वेदवित्. So Krishna is saying, it said that there is an imperishable banyan tree. What you need to understand about this tree in the material world is that it is also not going to die. It's also there forever. It's imperishable. It has roots which go upward, branches which go down, and the leaves are actually the Vedic hymns. And one who knows this tree and understands the real purpose of Vedas is to go to the spiritual world, back to Krishna, who is the father of every living entity. One who knows that is actually the learned person. Okay, in verse 15.2, Krishna is saying that the branches of these trees extend downward and upward, the branches, nourished by 3 modes. Which are the 3 modes? Sattvagun, Rajagun, and Tamogun. These 3 gunas are entangling us. The twigs are different sense objects. They are attracting us to stay there. This tree also has roots. Some of the roots are going down. These are the different results of our fruitive actions. We do different karmas. They take us down or they take us up. Then in verse 15.2, 15.3 and 4 together, Krishna is saying that the real form of this tree, you cannot really see it. No one can understand where it begins, where it ends, where its foundation is. We are so trapped, a tiny thing in this huge material world, which is like the reflection of the spiritual world. But Krishna is telling us, and you must try to do what Krishna is telling us. If we are determined, we can cut this tree with a weapon, with an axe of detachment. We have to develop detachment, which comes from attachment to, you don't have to become detached and cruel or something. If you attach yourself to Krishna and see Krishna everywhere, you will be able to cut off this tree and reach the spiritual world. So once you do this, you must seek place from which, having once gone, one never returns. So actually, like in a city, there are so many people, right? Similarly, in the spiritual world, there are so many souls living blissfully. Only some of them who don't follow, or who become very desirous, or they don't want to follow Krishna's instructions, they want to rule, they are sent, like how in the city people are sent to the jail who don't follow the rules, right? Similarly, when the Lord's spiritual world, when some of the souls are not following Krishna's instruction, or they develop some desire, or they're envious of Krishna, they have to come and live in this. It's just a jail. They have to come and go on being in this material world, right? So with determination, we can, escape. When we constantly think of Krishna, you will be able to escape. So Krishna says that one must seek that place from which, once you go back to spiritual world, you will not return, and there surrender to that Supreme Personality of Godhead from whom everything has begun. If you're able to always think there is God, He is the cause of everything, He is the origin of everything. And if you're able to remember Him all the time and understand that you are just a small soul, He is a super soul. And then what happens is you'll be able to reach that spiritual world. Krishna is saying in the Bhagavad Gita. We'll finish till till verse 5 today, and we'll continue 6 tomorrow. So Krishna is saying here, the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna is the original root from which everything has come out. To gain favor, to be in that, in the special, circle of Krishna. Krishna actually loves everyone, but he has a small circle of those devotees whom he loves really. He will surrender to them. To gain favor of the personality of Godhead, one has to, what should we do? Surrender to Krishna. And this is a result. How will you surrender? By performing devotional service. How? Like how you're doing now, listening to the Gita, by hearing about Krishna, by chanting about him, and understanding that he is the cause of this material world. That is the way to go back to him. So here we have some different beautiful pictures which show that the spiritual world is so beautiful up there, and it is reflected on the water on which it is reflected is the desire, our desires. There are downward branches and upward branches. The upward branches are the ones which are pious activities which help us to reach upwards. The leaves are different Vedic hymns. The tips of branches are all senses, and the twigs are all the sense objects. The different fruits we get are dharma, artha, kama, and moksha. So this is another depiction with a little more detail of this tree which Krishna talks about in chapter 15. And we can compare the spiritual real world and the material world, which is just a reflection. Spiritual world is eternal. Material world is also there for, is also eternal, but here it is saying temporary, in the sense that we have to keep on taking birth and death. Everyone has to keep on being born and dying. In the spiritual world, there is no birth or death. Even in heavenly planets, higher planets also, people have to be born and die. In fact, even Lord Indra, Surya, all these all have lives, and just positions. The demigods, no children, are just positions. They also have to keep on. Their life will end. A new soul will take the place of that duty which they are doing of the sun god or water god or whatever. And in spiritual world, there is bliss. In the material world, it's temporary. Real relationships take place in the spiritual world. Here, it's only temporary. Today, I'm born to this mother and this father. I have this brother and I have these friends. In my next birth, I don't know who will be my father, my mother, my friends. Everybody will be different. So the relationship in the material world is temporary. And in the spiritual world, there is no sadness. In the material world, there is only sadness. That's why there's a word for that, no? Vaikuntha. Vaikuntha. Kuntha means anxiety. Vai means without. So without any anxiety, that world is spiritual world. And there are the 4 problems of birth, death, old age, and disease are not there in the spiritual world. Here we have to face that. So this is what we just looked at. In the spiritual world, what are the qualities? It's a place where there is no birth, no death, self-effulgent. Everybody who goes to spiritual world is only soul. There is no subtle body. There is no material body covering all Maya, covering us. Nothing like that. We'll be self-effulgent. Means light will come out from our soul. There'll be no disease, no old age. Complete bliss will be in. Why are we suffering here? Because we have a false prestige. We are wrongly thinking that we are this body. We are not understanding that we are the soul. And what you think matters. Okay, so every single day you make a choice. Do you want to be in bliss or do you want to keep on crying and complaining? And how you see the world depends on how you look at it. Why are we in illusion? Because all this, this Maya is keeping us in illusion. Illusion is the reason for our pride. Pride is because we think that I am this body. Okay, true knowledge that I am the soul, super soul is in my heart. Kshetra, we had learned. Supreme Personality of God, that He loves us and He actually controls the whole world. If we know that, we are in true knowledge. Otherwise, we think I earned this money, I am super talented, everything good, these things belong to me. This pride happens because of illusion. So, children, I think it is 11. I'll just finish these few slides of up to fifth one. Here I was talking to you about false prestige. So the boy is understanding I'm a fool. I was actually happy in the spiritual world and now I'm suffering. Nothing is keeping me happy. These toys and so many things, whatever you give me, it doesn't give me lasting joy, right? So finally, 15.5, Krishna is saying that those who are freed from dualities of happiness and distress, who know how to surrender, even while they're alive in this birth itself, they can be in bliss. They can have complete true joy, which is inside, the joy within. Even good things happen, bad things, and they are not affected. They are surrendered to the Lord. They attain eternal kingdom even when they are in this body. And of course, when they die, they will be freed and they will go to the spiritual world. So shall we end the class here today, children? It's 11. Hare Krishna. Anushka has left. Ritika and Nisha. I hope you will join me next class. We'll finish chapter 15 and hopefully start 16 also. Hare Krishna, children.
Hare Krishna, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Welcome.
Hare Krishna, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Bye. Bye, Amma.